Hi, this is Chris with Clever Unicorn Games and the Unicorn Collective, back with another one of our interviews. Today I have designer Andy Steiger with me. How are you doing today, Andy?
I'm doing very fine. Thank you for the invitation. I'm looking forward for our talk.
Me too. Tell me, Andy, when you are not making, designing, or even playing games, what other things take up your spare time? What is it you enjoy to do?
Okay, I have two lively sons, two teenage boys, 13 and 10-year-olds. So this takes up a lot of time, but it's a nice thing to do. I like to spend time with them, with my wife, with my kids. But if I look from a hobby perspective, what I like to do besides of my family, the main thing I do is playing board games. I play with my wife, I play with my kids, I have a gaming group that meets in my house, I play with friends. Sometimes I play solo, so this is the biggest part. I also sometimes like to play video games, but not too much. But now and then I like a quiet evening, and at the moment I play Ghost of Tsushima, I think it's called. Yeah, a new game, very nice. Then once a month I'm in an impro comedy group, and we play impro comedy on stage. So we have a very special format. It is an improvised comedy crime. It's like a Pink Panther movie, but improvised. People they give us ideas, and then we go on. It's 2 hours every month. That's very nice. I like to do this very much. Then 1 year ago I started a little martial arts thing. It's called modern harness. I have two bamboo sticks. I got them with me, and you fight with the sticks. That's once a week I go there together with my wife. I like this very much.
What would you say now? We can see the massive wall of games behind you, and you've already shown
Yeah.
me that's only half of your room. I know your big box games are
Yeah.
on the other side. What would you say out of all of those games? And you can't say Targi. What would you say out of all those games is your favorite game? The one you would like to play above all others?
That's a little bit difficult to answer because I like to have a variety, and I like to play depending on my mood. Sometimes I like to play a bigger games, sometimes I like to play a smaller games. That's why I have so many games. I really have many games. But uh, demand, if you demand that
I demand.
yes, then I would say two answers. I would say Orléans and Castles of Burgundy. These are
Uh,
the my two favorite games. Yes.
what kind of games or genre of games or what game in particular made you want to make games yourself?
Okay. Let's start with the game in particular because this is Dominion. Because before I started to work on my own game, I played very much Dominion, and I was a fan from the first day. And right in the beginning, now we have many expansions for Dominion, but right in the beginning there were non-expansions at that moment, and fans created own cards. There was a German site where you could upload your own card design, and people could download them and play with your Dominion cards. And I started designing Dominion cards, and I had so much fun in doing that, and I had so many ideas. And in a very short amount of time, I had created 35 own designs, and I thought, wow, this was so easy for me. But and I could publish our own expansion for Dominion because I have so many cards that I designed by myself. So this was a push for me to try to design my own game. This was really the starting point that I thought if I can make so many cards for an existing game, maybe I can even create an own idea from the ground up. So Dominion was the starting point. And because it worked so well, I was high energetic and full of hope that it would turn out fine. And yeah, it did in the end.
What would you say, or where would you say the first place you go is when you have the idea in your head for a game? So you have the idea of the game you want to make. Where do you go first?
I go in solitude because the start of every design I test it all by myself. I have a little table. I have a lot of prototype materials and dice and stuff and cards, and then I sit there and I think about. And normally I have a mechanic in my head. I always start with the mechanic because I think if I have a good theme but the mechanic is not interesting, then the theme alone cannot make a great game. So I start from the mechanic and then I try. And to be honest, many ideas went to the garbage trash bin very fast. So I never showed them. Normally, the second step is that I play my ideas with my wife, and if that is working, then I show it to other people. But 90% of the first testing is just by myself. And from these ideas, two-thirds go straight into the trash after I tried them. So I have very many started games that are already dead.
So
Yes.
when you do games, is it all physical? So it's pencils and papers and bits of card. There's no
Yes.
digital involved. You don't really do any
No,
digital.
no, I must feel it. I must try it. I can change very easy. No, I have a very in a blog I found this idea. I have cards with they are in transparent sleeves, and so I write on the sleeve. I write the idea for the card, the cost, what the card does, and if I don't like it, I just wipe it away and I write it in a different way. And so I have my cards. I don't need to throw them away because I write on the sleeves. So I can make many changes very fast and try them very fast. That's a very good way. It's a good tip for new designers
That is real.
because
That's yeah, that is a good tip. And what kind of do you use just a dry white pen, or do you use something a bit more permanent, but then use alcohol to get it off? Well, how is
no,
it?
no, no. A whiteboard marker, so I can swipe it off very easily. But I have to be a little bit careful because sometimes it goes off too easy, and then my idea is already gone. Yes.
Oh yeah, no, that is a good idea though. That is a very good tip. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've taken at least one game all the way from your head to market now. When in that process, have you ever hit a barrier or a hurdle that you just didn't know how to get past? Either you didn't know about it, it was something new to you, or it's just something that stopped you from outside, an outside source stopped you. And then how did you get over that obstacle? And that can be in the
I
designing or the production or any part.
yes. Actually, my first game design it went very smoothly. I was very new as from the designing perspective. I was a newbie. I did not know many things. I designed the game. It worked very fast, very good. And then I just made two prototypes, one for me and one for the publisher. And I thought, okay, I don't need to make many more. I will send it to the publisher and it will work out fine. And I don't know in how much detail you want me to go, but it was really working in my case very easy. I picked the publisher. It was a Cosmos. It was the
Oh,
publisher for my game.
show us the box. Show us the prototype box because
This is
that was
my
ingenious.
prototype, and I already put the Cosmos logo on my prototype and sent it them this game. It looked exactly the same, so that they could see that I really handpicked them, that I really, and I wrote them in before I sent the box, I sent it an email and I wrote them that I did not send it to any other publisher. I just sent it to them because I think my game will fit their line of two-player games very good. And the only obstacle that happened was that I wrote after I wrote them the email and I wrote very many points why the game fits so good for their company. They asked me to send the rules, and then I sent the rules, and after a week, they wrote back and said, Mr. Steiger, we don't understand your rules. You did not a very good job in writing those rules. And normally, if the rules are not good, the company will not take a closer look. They will think this man does not know what he's talking about. He cannot write rules that are understandable. We don't have time. But the people there in the office, they saw the game had potential. So they said, please rewrite the rules. Please write an what's the word? And then a sheet where you really write what to do, how to do with some pictures, take some pictures, and then we will see if we can understand your game idea. And so I was very nervous then because writing rules is so hard because in your mind everything is clear. You have an idea, you know, but in the rules everything must be so precisely written. I cannot write put the cards on the table. I must write put the cards on the table with the text side down or with the back side up or whatever, or shuffle them. And every step must be so precise, and it was so hard for me to write them. So I was very nervous. I had to rewrite them. I was sweating, but then this was the main hurdle. Then I did it, and I wrote them. I sent them the new rules and the spreadsheet, how a turn order works, how everything works with many pictures. And then they said, okay, very good, please send us your prototype. Yeah, and then I put the logo on the prototype and I sent it to them. Yeah, and 3 months later, they called and said, okay, very good game, we take it. Another little hurdle was the game originally had another name. It was Tuareg.
Okay.
It's the desert people. And 2 weeks before the game hit the printer,
There's another game
another
with that name,
game
isn't there? Yeah, yeah.
with the name, yeah, it was published. And then we wrote another company and said, what can we do? And they said, you can do nothing. We licensed the name and you must find a new name. That was quite not so easy for me because I had my editor said you have 3 days to come up with a new fitting name, and that was not very nice for me. And I thought of 33 alternative names that fit the game: Sahara and desert and Negev and Marrakesh and all stuff. And then the first idea was Targi, actually. My first alternative name was Targi, and that was the one that was picked in the end. So if I stopped with Targi, I could save me a lot of work.
Have you ever played a game that you weren't thrilled about? You don't have to name it. Is there a game you've played where you just really didn't like it? And was it the theme or a mechanic or what was it about the game that really put you off it?
I normally don't like games where you destroy stuff from the other players, or where you have to fight over territory, or if I have to kill other people, destroy their buildings. This I tend not to like so much. Therefore, because I always feel I work, I build something, I make something, and then it gets destroyed and it goes away. And I can name one game. It's also a Cosmos two-player game, so I can talk about it because I'm in the same company with my game. It's Babel. I
I've
don't know
seen
if you
it,
have
yeah.
played
I've never played
Babel.
it, but I've seen it.
You
I
know,
have.
you build something on your side of the tableau, and after working hard, you have your little tower, what it is, and then your opponent destroys it, and then he builds something and I destroy it, and it's this back and forth all the time, and I find it a little exhausting.
No, I can
Yeah.
understand it. Why is it that you would say you make games? What is it that drives you to make games?
Um. I have two main reasons. The first reason is that I think it's a good thing if you, as a person, do the things that you desire to do, that you wish to do. A lot of people have dreams or ideas, like in the board gaming world, many people have the wish to create an own game or have ideas for an own game. But then they stop and don't pursue that idea. They just have it and then they stop there. And I think in every aspect of life, it is a good thing to pursue your dreams, your ideas, and try things. Like as another example with the improv comedy. I always was a visitor in the theater and I watched the other guys play and I thought, oh, that looks interesting. Oh, I would like to try it myself. And if I would have stopped there, I would never been on stage. Also with the board gaming thing, I always said it would be so cool to have an own game and own game idea and an own published game. And if I would have said the Dominion cards are enough for me, yes, it would be. Even I did them, so it would be a good thing. If I did not even do them, it would not be so good. But I think it's a good thing to try things, and if they don't work out, it's you didn't hurt anybody. So, and in many aspects of my life, I try to live this way. Like there was once a very cool job, and I thought, oh, it would be so cool if I could work at this place. And then, but it looked like impossible. But I tried it, and I said, okay, I will write a what's it called if I write something if I want to work there.
CV?
Yeah, yes, I wrote it, and then I got this job, and so I thought, yeah, you must try it. If it's not working, it's doesn't matter. And this is with board gaming as well, because board gaming is for me, for my wife and me, it's such a precious quality time. Before we played board games, we were in the cinema and we were in the improv theater and we were dancing, did a lot of stuff. And then she got pregnant and she said, I'm too tired. I cannot go with you so much outside. We must stay more at home. And I found it not too interesting to watch movies all the time. Yes, sometimes it's great. I do enjoy them, but not all the time. Only movies, only reading. And so we started board gaming. We had some old games in the cupboard, Carcassonne and Catan, and we picked them and we played them. And it was for our relationship, such a good thing to play together that I thought, wow, this is so great. And this is something that I wanted to share with other people. So I started to recommend games for other people, for other couples especially. I thought, here, try this game, try that game. Have you played Asante? Have you played Jumbo? And my focus was always on two-player games because in my life, it is so an important part to play with my wife. And then even better, I thought I should try if I make a game and if I follow this wish and I have the courage to do it, then it should be a two-player game because two-player is so important for me. And then I made a two-player game and I did not thought, oh, it will not sell so much because it's only a two-player game. Wouldn't it be better to make a 3 or 4-player game? I said, no, two-player is my way of playing, how I like it, and I want to share this with other people. And I think a little bit I succeeded in there to show other couples or give them a good evening and a nice time together, quality time together. This was also a big desire. So to fulfill my own ideas and dreams and to bring the way I experienced games to other people was the other idea.
What is one piece of advice that you would give to somebody with an idea in their head that they want to make a game? What would you say to that person?
If you let me, I would give two pieces of advice.
Yeah, go
If
ahead.
this is okay? Okay. The first piece of advice is if you design a game, first and foremost, design it for yourself so that you enjoy the idea, that you enjoy the mechanic, that you enjoy the theme. You must like your game because this will be, people will feel and they will experience if you love your own game idea, if you like your own game idea or not, or if you have just made something to please a crowd, or you think, oh, now deck building is a hot uh, thing, I will do a deck building game, for instance, just to please the market or something like this. I think this is not the right approach. If you love deck building, do it. But the first thing in my mind is that you must love and like your own game idea. This will show in the end, and people will feel it, and they will see this game has something special. They will feel the time and your heart that you have invested. And I think then you will give the game also enough time until you are satisfied with it. And in the end, if no publisher wants it, you will have a game you like and you love, and you can play it in your own, with your family, with your friends, because you love it. If you don't like it yourself, what will you do with a game that no one will publish? Even yourself, you don't like it as well. So that's my first advice. My second advice is, if you pick your publisher, choose wisely. Don't send your game to every publisher. You're wasting your time and you're wasting their time. Because if the game will not fit the catalog, they will, if you're lucky, they'll send it back. If you're not lucky, they will throw it in the trash. You have wasted energy and time, and you don't need to do that. So pick a publisher where your game fits, and not just by random chance send it to everybody. That's not a good way, because the publisher will see, okay, this game is aimed in our direction. This will work for us. They are not stupid. If you send a game, a big box game to a small to Oink Games, they will not publish it. This is not realistic. That's my second advice. Yes.
Plus, if you're sending it to Oink Games, I think you're sending it to Japan, aren't you? So it's quite a long way for
Oh,
the
it's very
yes,
expensive. Yes.
expensive postage.
Yes.
Uh, well, this has been brilliant. Thank you very much for coming and speaking to me today, Andrew. This was excellent.
It was a pleasure.